All right, today we are talking about big, sweaty muscle men and toys. Because I'm Robo, this here's the Rewind. Starting with things we knew existed, here are new photos of some upcoming Fresh Monkey Fiction BigBadWorkshop Operation Monster Force figures. The Apophis Legion Counterterrorism Unit Trooper is some army builder for your bad guy shelf, just to add a little bit more bad there. Bad as in villain, although these characters didn't actually start off as villains. They were sent against the Forgotten King, killed, and then resurrected in his service. So there's a whole backstory going on here. That is all perfectly fine and dandy. I like some fatigued troopers, but my eye has been squarely on the Donner Party since it was revealed. Basically, it's Frankenstein, but its body parts were sewn together from the leftovers of the Donner Party. And now he protects his descendants. That kind of thing is not going to happen again on his watch. But then the Forgotten King kidnaps one of those descendants, and the Donner Party joins the side of angels. He's going to hunt them down. He's tracking them down. Reanimated cowboy corpse? I was in before the promo pictures even made the rounds. Best of all, it seems the long wait for these is almost over. I mean, we still have a little bit. Fresh Monkey Fiction says that it'll be summer, late summer, but if we're seeing actual product photography, that's one step closer. Gimme. In repaint realm, Jada Toys has announced their WonderCon / Next Level exclusive Ultra Street Fighter 2 Player 2 Fei Long. All the goodness of the original, just in purple pants. Pretty cool if you're into variants. Over to Hasbro Legends. What? There's more to the... Nah. Wait. Come, bring it back. Oh, there is. Like I mentioned, all the same goodies. There's the grimacing head, there's the teeth slightly showing head, there is the gesturing hands, there's the fists, there's the fire leg effect. But they threw extras in for this exclusive. Player 2 comes with splayed out hands, grip hands, a pair of nunchucks, and then a third head with an O-face. That makes the Bruce Lee vibes unmistakable. I mean, they were already there, but this just takes it to the next level. See what I did there? I said the thing. I wish these were included with the Player 1 release, the iconic look, the black pants, but I understand the reasoning. The original pack out keeps it within the expected price range set by the first figures in the line. Sure, we'd all like the packages to just be overflowing with accessories while keeping the cost as cheap as possible, but there are budgets at play. Plus, this is not new. Jada did the same thing with Ken, Ryu, and Chun-Li, where they all had extra things and changed up decos. And with Chun-Li, they even added an extra of the exclusive head in the Player 1 colors. That's not necessary with Fei Long, as the skin tone matches. And even if it doesn't, you can swap at the waist and get whatever color pants you want. Here's the parts, here's the pieces. Hopefully there's enough to go around on the Next Level site when this goes up March 28th, for those of us who are going to be in Toylanta instead of WonderCon. Okay, now to Hasbro Marvel Legends. The X-Force X-23 and Warpath 2-pack went up for pre-order this week. and that's not really news, because we had already seen the pretty promo pics. We were warned that it would go up this week. It was just a matter of clicking and adding to our X-Force ranks. Or in this case, upgrading our X-Force ranks. I had to pull out the old Warpath this week for a comparison in the Marvel Legends Nemesis Wave review, and I had forgotten just how, this is kind of blocky, kind of rough. So while this body is slightly outdated at this point, it's still a huge upgrade over the original. We're slowly working up that ladder. That reminds me that Wrecking Crew is in that same limbo, isn't it? They're in dire need of upgrades. In fact, I think that was the same body as the old Warpath. And Crossbones, just lanky and awkward. The first X-Force Lara wasn't near as bad, but this is a clear upgrade, especially with the double elbows and the unmasked head. I know that option came with the X-23 Wolverine costume version, but again, this is better. They've been upping their photoreal game since then. Plus, that original Wolverine is like $100 when I glanced at it a minute ago. We also saw a couple of Marvel Legends hit the hallowed halls of Walmart Collector Con this week. starting with the Gamerverse Spirit Spider. Again, this is such an oddball variant, but it makes sense. Walmart wanted an exclusive. It's just a base body and a flaming skull head with some paint in blue for Walmart. That's cool and all, but I passed on by because my sights were set on Spider-Man 77. I'd forgotten about this, and then I remembered when I saw it on the shelf at Toy Fair, then I forgot again. Shit. I was several hours late to CollectorCon. Thankfully, this was still in stock, or well, still up for pre-order, because getting something in Walmart CollectorCon is only half the battle. The other half is Walmart actually delivering it, getting it out to us. Again, it's been back and forth. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. This is a Spider-Man. Come on, ship. Yeah. It's not a great body for Spidey. No butterflies, looks kinda hindered. And it's not the greatest look with the belt and the bracelet that wasn't actually in the 77 movie. I think the belt showed up at the end of the movie, and then this didn't show up until the TV show. And this is advertised as the movie. Either way, you can probably pop the hand off, take that off, have a 77 movie Spider-Man. So wait, why was I wanting this again? Oh, yeah, nostalgia. I barely remember this from back in the day, and I've made an attempt to go back and watch it again since then, and it's terrible, but it's just something that sparks a little itch in the back of my brain. Oh, tug. In fact, this is the only thing I grabbed from CollectorCon. The other things that I was slightly interested in, I'll either wait it out, or remember when I said that I had forgotten about CollectorCon for a couple hours and then made my way through it real quick? Well, the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Crystal Ball, he done eluded me. Last week I joked about missing the G.I. Joe wall at Hasbro's Inner Sanctum at Toy Fair. I just got a few seconds as I was going by. Wait, what is that? And I missed some things, Richard King being one of those. But now that I've got an eyeball full of the ghostly green accessories, and the lenticular shield seems to be a thing lately, I put it in my cart real quick and went to check out, and it said sold out. So I went back, clicked it again, it said in stock, or well, up pre-order, clicked it again, went to check out, gone. Ugh. I'll go over to Hasbro Pulse then. Sold out there too? Son of a bitch. It's like walking up to the register with something in your hand, and right as you go to boop, somebody runs up and no. Oh, did you want? Well, here you go. You can't have it. So hopefully this swings back around closer to release date, or they stuff it into a 2-pack with less accessories, without the sword and the shield, and well, he's got to have the crystal ball, right? It's crystal ball. Keeping with Walmart CollectorCon, there were a couple of Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse exclusives. The Vintage Collection Faker is exactly what we expected. Hell, it may have been already what we were shown. We knew it was coming, but I haven't been keeping track. Either way, it's the 40th anniversary He-Man body in shades of blue. It's the 40th anniversary He-Man weapons in metallic orange. And it works because that's how it's always been. That's how it always shall be. Unless it's cartoon collection, then it's just He-Man with some glowing eyes, which I know is Filmation accurate, but man, I like my fakers blue. And hey, they did resculpt the chest to make it an actual robot panel instead of just a sticker slapped under there. I like that. But, is it just me, or does the 40th anniversary He-Man body look dated at this point? At that time, I was like, hell yeah, all the Masterverse He-Mans have been scrawny. Here's one with some bulk, some chest. But with all the fantastic Masterverse figures that have come out since, this one's looking awkward. Maybe because it's the base body with minimal covering, which I understand is the He-Man / Faker design, but it really accentuates the limbs and the silhouette. Because case in point, the other Masterverse at Walmart this week was She-Ra. And look at this. You would think that it's not even in the same line as Faker, which it's not, I guess. The Faker is Vintage Collection Masterverse. This is straight up Masterverse. But there are some prominent differences. The pearly white costume details, the golds, the flow of everything, the face details. Oh. Take a look at Faker again. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. She-Ra has that printed look. a higher quality, while Faker has the old slap some eyes in, a couple of details, very, again, vintage collection. But you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Don't you? Since we're chewing the fat for figures of physically fit fellas in fur, Mezco solicited their 1/12 collective Conan the Barbarian 1982 War Paint Edition, and they just captured the Arnoldness of it all. I mean, the war paint does help. Mezco usually stylizes their faces based on live action people, but with the eyebrows blacked out, our brains are filling in that part. But then Mezco had to go and nail the nose, the mouth, the eyes peering out of that dark field, and it's even better on the screaming head. I say it all the time, I don't care for screaming heads, but companies are getting so much better at it to capture moments in time. Well, okay, I usually like open mouths when they represent a power or a physical aspect of the thing. But man, when it makes the likeness even better, like on Arnold here, there's no denying it. That's Arnold in figure form. So now I have to constantly follow it with, well, since it looks so good, maybe I'll display it that way. I don't know. I hate screaming heads, but I'm using them more and more. If I were to get this, I was never big into those movies, even back in the day. I actually prefer the Momoa Conan movie. I know, I will see myself out. Goodbye. No. It's a big, wide internet. I'm allowed to have my opinions about things, right? Right? Especially when it comes to toys and movies. I don't begrudge a single solitary soul for wanting this. If you're interested, the link is in the description. My ideal version of Conan goes more towards the classic comic illustration painting look. And oh, look what's coming from Frazetta Icons. This week they started the teases, the run up to the pre-order that is supposed to happen sometime in March. I don't know when exactly, but it's a coming. This is just raw, beautiful Conan. The bone necklace, the fur shorty shorts, the leather boots, the weapons. And to be totally honest, I don't care for the punch bowl helm. I cannot help but think Conan was at a party or a baby shower and the enemies attack and suddenly he's probably cooler than that though, huh? Conan, that's not actual fighting. Unless you run at somebody like that and they're, what the fuck is going on there? But that's just one option. This back shot shows long, luscious, unencumbered hair, which we already knew about thanks to the figure's actual debut at last year's San Diego Comic-Con. That's Conan. So it's good to see that there will be options. Again, pre-order is right around the corner here in the next couple of weeks. So we'll know the full loadout soon. But between this and Mezco and Heroic Signatures and I think something else, it is a golden age of Conans, or a Hyborian age of action figures. Either or. Oh, but we're not done with the sword and sorcery. Hasvinger Studios dropped this gem recently, and there's going to be another option when it comes to Frazetta's Death Dealer. Off the top of my head, there's Mezco and executive replicas, but I have a feeling that this is going to be the cheapest option. And I don't mean cheap as in the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. It comes with weapons, it comes with alternate hands, it comes with swappable armor and helmets. It's packed. No, by cheap, I mean that the cost will probably be less than other companies' offerings. But it's just another option. It's just, hey, I think Loose Collectors comes with a horse, and then Mezco had the cloth goods and everything else. So extra cost. More choices the better, right? It gives, I was gonna say everybody what they want, but there's always somebody. There's always a few that's just like, I wanted this, not this, not this, not this. Toy collecting sucks, and I'm gonna make it suck for everybody else. Hey everybody, toy collecting sucks. The reason I don't know the cost is because it's not quite up for pre-order yet. That happens next Friday, March 21st. Finally, let's finish it off with various reveals from McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. They posted a few promotional images earlier in the week and then came around with another McFarlane Toy Show live stream where they dropped more figure reveals and little tidbits of information. As far as the DC license itself goes, again, they're not going to get into specifics, but they did say that they will be making figures well into 2026. In fact, they'll be doing figures for the Supergirl movie, which is in the summer. They're negotiating for 2027 and beyond for the DC license. See what happens there. So if you're a multiverse collector, you have the better part of 2 years, not the 1 year like I said last week. And in toy years, that's forever. Especially with McFarlane, they just keep pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping. For figures though, they started off with Jim Carrey Riddler in his third act white costume. I forgot all about this. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but when I saw it, I thought, oh, of course they're doing that version. They did the first version, they made other characters from that movie. That just makes sense because it's an interesting look. And it makes for an interesting looking figure. There's a Killer Croc and Grim Knight 2-pack coming out, and I don't know anything about Grim Knight. Maybe he did fight Killer Croc, but more than that, these are repaints, and more than that, it will include weapon accessories. The first Grim Knight came around at that time when, you could put guns that can't be held on his back, but you can't have him holding guns. That's just too much. WB. Good grief. Going back to the licensing thing, if it doesn't renew in 2027, I have a feeling that we're just going to see characters with guns come out with guns. It's just like, what? You going to take the license away from us? But at the moment, they're renegotiating. They're kind of, hey, we can keep on making DC in some capacity, so we won't show guns with the reveal of the newer version of Grim Knight. But they did specifically say it's going to come with weapon accessories. Maybe it's a crowbar and a little knife. I don't know. They didn't show anything. Next was Dr. Fate that was promoted earlier in the week, and it kind of threw me for a minute because I had gotten used to Dr. Fate with all the movie type textures and details and extras, that seeing it all clean and classic, okay. Same situation for the Silver Age Two-Face. There's been quite a few variations on this design over the decades, but my mental image, my favorite version is this. The orange, the green. Yeah, it just sparks something. There's a year one Batman that's gonna go along with the year one Commissioner Gordon that was shown at Toy Fair, because Batman, it's Batman. We've already established that Batman sells, so why wouldn't the company make more Batmans? Here's a better look at the hot girl we talked about last week with the wings completely spread out, looking majestic. This Jeremy Irons Alfred feels out of the blue, but at the same time, they've been making a mad dash when it comes to the movies. So this just makes sense. But then there's this. How did I not know that a cowboy Batman existed? Or maybe I did know, since so many versions of Batman has existed, that I just kind of put it out of my brain because I figured they would never make an action figure of it. It's beautiful. Yeehaw, partner. I mentioned the mood lighting shots that were revealed earlier in the week. A couple of those didn't make it to the live stream, like Justice Lord's Batman. I've always liked this design because of the color scheme. The silver bat, the silver on the Batarang, the silver in the eyes. It makes it very monochromatic. Well, I guess except for Bruce's face sticking out, but that's a Batman design. Then there's also 1 Million Batman, which is not referring to the comic book, it's referring to how many Batmans that McFarlane Toys has made at this point. It's 1 million. Yay! What? Too soon? Oh, I can't make the joke? After making fun of people for making the joke? And that's all I have for this week. We are 2 weeks after Toy Fair and still talking about so many toys. I probably missed some things. We'll swing back around if I feel like it. As always, special thanks to the Nobots, the Patreon. I wouldn't be able to do this without your support. I appreciate that. I don't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about here. Oh, couple of weeks I will be at Toylanta. I know I've mentioned that before, but it's getting close. It's right around the corner, so we're going to talk about it some more. My spot is in the PowerCon section of Toylanta, but I've been told that I can just wander around too, which I like to do. It's, hey people, let's talk. What's going on? So if I'm not at my table, I'm around somewhere, but I'm going to attempt to be in my spot most of the time. I think there is a Fresh Monkey Fiction panel with some reveals happening there, so if that's going on, I won't be at my spot. Is there something toy going on over there? Robo's probably there. Also, thank you to all the people who pointed out that the Hasbro Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Gambit's cape is reuse from the Deadpool 2 movie cable. I should have known that, because when I looked at it, I thought, that's a lot of detail. The buttons, the layers, the seam lines, the hood. It was AOA Gambits like that in the comics? And why doesn't it fit right? As soon as I read the first comment, and then the third, and the 20th, and the 50th, I realized, oh man, that's why. Of course it's not gonna fit right. It wasn't made for this figure. So yeah, I'll definitely be hunting down a soft goods version of that, or something. If I were to display it. I bought that figure for the Nemesis part. I don't have an Age of Apocalypse display. I don't care about Age of Apocalypse. But several people also made suggestions about customs that could be made with Age of Apocalypse Gambit parts. So, see, nothing wasted. Even when I buy something I didn't really want, I'll find a use for it. So that just contributes to, what do we always say? The fun of this hobby. And that's what you gotta focus on. Not people screaming at you for collecting toys or buying this or buying that or enjoying things that they don't. Forget all that. Just let it slide off your back. Just ignore it and have your fun, because that's what you're meant to do. Bye. Oh, wait. I gotta fix that creak in the floor. Bye.